It all started in 1929. My mama, a very large woman, was running out in her front yard, holding her stomach doubled over in pain, screaming, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" Suddenly, lightning crashed to the ground. The nice neighborhood George, he came rushing over to my mama's aid. He was no doctor, but I'll tell you what, he was. Not a doctor, but he was 100% sure my mama had appendicitis that day. He took his horseshoe, he lit it up, and he cut my mama from left to right. To his surprise, he delivered more than my mama's appendix that day. That's right, he delivered me, Mary Martha Atkins. Now me, mama, and that appendix, we went everywhere together. We was best friends. One evening we were at church, and mama was singing so loud, the ground around us began to rumble, and the window shattered. I was hit with a piece of glass in the leg, and that's why I live today. But worse off, mama, she dropped to her knees. There was blood everywhere. She had ruptured her vocal cords. She was taken away to the hospital, and me, I was taken away to the Rory orphanage. I didn't like that Rory orphanage. There was 3 mean boys there. There was Kenny Pitts, I call him Kenny Armpits. There was Thomas James, and there was Lawrence Henry. Kenny Pitts used to like to pull on my pigtails like this, like I was a motorcycle. I wrote Mama a letter in the hospital and told her about mean old Kenny Pitts picking on me and the other orphanage kids. She wrote back, "Mary, take care of him." And that's just what I did. I figured Kenny Pitts liked pigtails so much, I went out to the orphanage barn. There was thousands of pigs out there, and I cut those pigtails off, one by one, just like this. And I collected those pigtails in a big blue bucket. And one night when Kenny Pitts was sleeping, I hung that big blue bucket above Kenny Pitts' bed, just like this. I pulled that string with the pigtails on. Those pigtails went tumbling down top of Kenny Pitts. He woke up screaming and hollering. The nuns rushed into Kenny Pitts' aid and they said, "Kenny Pitts, what you hollering about?" He said, "Wheat." And they said, "Excuse me, Kenny Pitts, what did you say?" And he said, "Wheat." Oh, the nuns were infuriated. They for sure thought Kenny Pitts was calling them a pig. They sentenced Kenny Pitts out to the barn. Not too much long later, Kenny Pitts grew a snout and a tail. And now I'm pulling his pigtail. As for Thomas James and Lawrence Henry, they used to sing this god-awful song about me. It went like this. "Mary Martha, the goose is getting fat. Ocky, ocky, ocky in the old man's hat. If Mary Martha doesn't have a cookie, she will cry to death. If Mary Martha doesn't have a brownie, she will die, she will die." Again, I wrote Mama a letter telling her about these 2 mean boys, singing this mean song about me and the other orphanage kids. She wrote back, "Mary Martha, you're a strong individual. You take care of those boys." Again, that's just what I did. Thomas James, he was the one singing about the cookies. If I didn't have my cookies, I would cry. Well, I figured he liked cookies so much, I went into the orphanage kitchen and I'd bake a big batch of warm cookie dough. In that time when Thomas James was sleeping, I'd take his little hand and place it in the warm cookie dough. You ever hear what happens if you put someone's hand in warm water when they're sleeping? That's right, they wet the bed. He wet the bed night after night. The nuns were so sick of cleaning up after him, they sentenced him to wear a diaper. I fixed him for picking on me and the other orphanage kids. As for Lawrence Henry, he was the one singing the part about if I didn't have the brownies, I would die, I would die. Well, the nuns had a secret stash of brownies in their pantry. I snuck into the pantry, and I'd munch up those brownies halfway, and boy, were they delicious. And I'd take the other half of that brownie, and I'd place it underneath Lawrence Henry's pillow. I did that for about a month, until one evening, I heard screaming and hollering from Lawrence Henry's bedroom like a little girl. I went peeking around the corner. There he was, covered in black and red button ants. It was hysterical. And better yet, the nuns rushed in, hosed them down like he was a firefighter. Oh, funny. But Sister Janky, the mean nun, she moved Lawrence Henry's pillow to the side, and that's what her surprise. She saw Lawrence Henry been stealing all her brownies all along. She sentenced Lawrence Henry to eat nothing but brownies for breakfast, snack, lunch, and dinner. Till Lawrence Henry was praying to the porcelain gods, just like this. It got around the orphanage that I was the one who fixed these 3 mean boys from being mean to me and the other orphanage kids. Some would even chant my name when I walked in a room. Mary, Mary, Mary. Some would even refer to me as Mary Martha, the princess with her appendix. But you know what? There was one thing that was missing, my mama. So I picked up that appendix and I wished upon it. Dear mama, I wish you were back with me in the appendix. All of a sudden I hear honk honk. I look out the window and there's my mama, hands on her hip, larger than ever. Mary Martha, you come out to your mom. And that's just what I did. And I lived happily ever after. Me, mama, and that appendix.